Om Namah Shivaya friends, Jai Shri Ram, welcome to Dots of Destiny. Today's video is about the transit of Jupiter in the Ashlesha Magha Gandanta. Though this is quite a far-stretched event, I thought it's important to make a video on this one because this transit is very long enough, and after Jupiter gets in Pushya, presently it is getting combusted slowly, and then it comes out of combustion from 12th or 13th of August. It is ready to go into Ashlesha, I think by 18th of August. And once it reaches Ashlesha, it moves forward into Magha Nakshatra from 31st of October, where it has a conjunction with Mars and Ketu in Magha in the month of November. And that conjunction happens exactly after Diwali, and then I think after 14th of November. And then Jupiter gets retrograde from 11th or 12th of December. It is in Magha for quite a long time, November, December, January 24th. Then it comes back to again Ashlesha, meets Ketu over there. By the time Ketu and Rahu has changed his axis, and that conjunction of Jupiter and Ketu goes on till June, nearly June end. If I'm not wrong, 22nd June, Jupiter will again go crossing the Gandanta into Leo. So you can understand, if roughly you can take a time frame, the thing is that this Ashlesha Magha Gandanta is getting activated again and again. Not only by Jupiter, by Mars also, and Ketu for once and all, it will cross this Gandanta near the beginning of December. So these two nakshatras are very prominent nakshatra in the series of 27 nakshatras, and not only that, they are very awakening kind of a nakshatra. Whether they are dangerous, whatever repercussions they bring to your life, that is a fallout of the events, definitely. But for all the ascendants, there will be some awakening, some process ending, some knots opening for you starting from this August roughly to next June, because even Mars will enter its debilitation point Cancer in this September and continue in the sign of Leo till next June. So you can understand Cancer and Leo is the story that is brewing up now. And extrapolating this story, you have in the June month Saturn crossing the Gandanta of Revati Ashwini and coming into Aries, its point of debilitation. So these two are trigger points. If you remember, in the 2019 story, just before the COVID, when there was Saturn, Jupiter, Ketu combination in Mula in the month of December 2019, and there was a solar eclipse. So whenever these kind of planetary movements happen, you know that the coming 2-3 years cannot be easy, because in astrology or whenever in Jyotish we see eclipses happening, with August is waiting for 2 eclipses to happen, the panning of events, they occur slowly and back to back in the coming months. Obviously, if you go down to history, you will find out that in 1990 and 1991, when Jupiter Ketu combination happened in Ashlesha, and then Jupiter crossed over to Magha, again came back and forth here, you will find lot of events had happened, and those events were like the invention of World Wide Web, which is a good thing. There was like incident 1990-91. There was a earthquake in Iraq with magnitude 7.8, killing thousands. There was the Persian Gulf War, where Iraq had invaded Kuwait, and then America, USA came into the helm of affairs, freeing Kuwait. Then there was the Berlin Wall falling down, and East and West Germany unification. All these things happened in 1990. 1991, also 1990 or 91, the exodus of the Kashmiri Pandit also happened when Jupiter was in Pushya, and then it was slowly coming into towards Ashlesha. So that was the time. 1991 we saw the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. Then we saw the Mikhail Gorbachev resigning as the president of USSR, forming of Russia, and Ukraine gaining freedom from Moscow. So see, there were so many events back to back. Again, when Jupiter came into the Ashlesha 2002, 2003, I think that was the time, if I'm not mistaken, this Godhra riot happened, killing thousands in Gujarat, and Akshardham temple was attacked by terrorists. And now 2026, there's a scam with the Ram Mandir. So what is proved by these events is that astrology, Jyotish is also based on statistics. And when we look back these things, and there was also a Ebola virus outbreak during this Jupiter in Ashlesha, because it also deals with medicines and all these things, killing many people in Africa. So when you go back to these events, you understand the coming months, and especially this end of 2026 and going into nearly the whole year of 2027, we have challenges coming up. Now, the purpose of this video is not about bombastic news coming up and making you aware and getting you scared and all these things, but yes, a little bit of precaution, understanding the market, how it is moving, the AI bubble, it is going to crash whether people believe it or not. So all these things you have to be very cautious, and also your expectations must run according to that, whatever pattern is building up in the coming months. Why I'm saying this again is that many people come and ask whether I will get an upliftment in my job, well, get a salary hike or not. The thing is that, see, these are very nice for the year, but when the all over the world economy is not looking at all in a good shape, and we know that Rahu, when it comes into Capricorn, Saturn came into Capricorn, we had seen the COVID thing and economic crash. Even now Rahu comes into Capricorn, Saturn's aspect when Saturn moves into Aries will be on this Rahu. So you can understand the economy is waiting to collapse, and this time there will be no much yes, India will be at a much better place than the West world, because Saturn gets debilitated, the West world gets a lot of problems. But having said that, we must be prepared for what is coming up, and we cannot be living in oblivion that yes, everything will be great going. No, it is not. War fronts will be opening up. Two is already open, Ukraine, Russia, and Iran and Israel. Another will also open in the next 1.5 years, definitely. In our neighbors also things can happen, which is very much predicted by all, and that will also happen. So this focus of this video will be on the juncture point where you have the Ashlesha Magha in your ascendant wise analysis, because this is a physical thing. Many people again come up asking moon rashi or ascendant. Please understand, with my predictions, moon rashi can work up to 30%, but ascendant wise it should give result to 70-75%. Obviously the dasha is very important. Transit cannot overrule the dasha. Whatever the dasha has to give you, good or bad, it has to be given by the delivery boy, which is the transit. So having said these things, let me now go into each ascendant, understanding wherever your this juncture point is and how Saturn also affects, because this is happening first in Ashlesha Magha. Then Saturn is closing chapters and Revati and going into Ashwini from June 2027. So go into the timestamp and let us see what each ascendant has in its store. For the Libra ascendants, the transit of Jupiter and Ashlesha will happen in your 10th house. And the Gandanta of Ashlesha and Magha is in your 10th and 11th. So, excuse me for the cold a little bit. So, this happens that you will have some ambitious thing coming up for you in a competitive form. It will not be very easy to beat the competition in the 10th house in Ashlesha, and you will have to have some skills enhanced for this. Jupiter will help you in that. And because it is in the 10th and 11th house Gandanta, you may, because it is the knot, the Ashlesha and Magha is both fierce nakshatras. One is in a little bit psychological, politically type, Ashlesha, which is like a coiled snake. So you will find people around you, or you will see around you, there will be competition which you have to recognize. And it will be not exactly, I mean, it is not something which is seen very easily, because the people can behave in a certain way, but actually that may not be the actual motive of the people. A little bit complicated in the 10th house, no doubt, but that is for all the ascendant and nothing specific of Libra. So be very careful about the motive of the people, but professional recognition and some kind of upliftment, or you had been waiting for this kind of a thing for very long, some kind of a breakthrough is seen in this 1 year time. Now see, this is a very long time that I'm talking about. I'll touch upon the every month basis how this transit moves, because Jupiter will be in Ashlesha from 18th of August, and then it will cross over to Magha, that is your 11th house, the karma and the karma phala. And Saturn will also later next year come into your 7th house, which is a Digbali Saturn, though debilitated, but Digbal Saturn is much better. So this is all about your understanding of your surroundings, your environment, maybe a change, maybe your understanding how to deal with your professional field and your gains. And also for every individual, because this is a very high volatile Gandanta, Ashlesha Magha and Mula Jeshta, Revati Ashwini is a little bit better than these two. I mean, they are such highly karmic knots. And because for Libra ascendant, Venus will be coming on the Lagna for a long time this year. So you will be able to say goodbye or open the knots of certain karmic chapters or close it altogether in this coming 1 year. So all in all, there is nothing bad about the transit. There will be eclipses in your 10th house also, which I'll come with another video in the month of August. There will be back-to-back 2 eclipses. It is all about because see, Libra ascendant has Cancer in the 10th house. You are emotionally quite, wherever Cancer is, we cannot express our emotions and we have to deal with it. That kind of a sign Cancer is, that the high volatile emotions are very much embedded over here. So in your 10th house area, because I've seen many Libra people had been going through a lot of ups and downs mainly, especially when Jupiter, the 6th lord, was in the 8th house and the 9th house. Now it is the time that you will have some kind of a betterment, and not only betterment, you will bring end to certain chapters, and you will, from here, you will take over to a little bit of different thing. Yes, there will be some kind of a new beginnings happening for you in the 10th house area. Yeah, that is for sure. But that beginning may happen in 2026, by end of 2026, or it can extrapolate to next year also, because this transit is a very long drawn transit, and it ends with Magha next year, July. So both these are very fierce nakshatra, in the sense Jupiter in Ashlesha is about understanding the planning and plotting, which can very happen in the 10th house area. Very much it can happen over there. And Magha is the sword with which you establish your identity. So both these areas are very interesting in some way, definitely, because these kind of transits will aid you to develop that kind of a mentality to beat the heat and move ahead. So I will no way say this transit is bad for you. Whatever is necessary, whatever is evil, you have to deal with it. That is the only point. You cannot shy away. You have the knowledge. In Pushya, the knowledge is given. In Ashlesha, you have the knowledge and you do not show it to the people around you. So then you please do not. Another thing is that in Ashlesha, though Jupiter is a guru, but you'll see my shorts or the preface of this video, lot of events happen in Ashlesha. Ashlesha Jupiter is not easy. And next year you will have a Ketu with Jupiter in Ashlesha. So there will be changes in your understanding, in your present job scenario. 10th house Ketu with Jupiter in Ashlesha, especially the first half of 2027, you have to go through changes. This is a must. And that is why this Gandanta transit is a big changing transit. There is some kind of epiphany, some kind of awakening for every individual, depending upon the horoscope or dasha, to watch what level. So there will be changes 101%, because Rahu Ketu will then come to your 10th and the 4th house. Whenever Rahu Ketu transits the 1st and 7th and 10th and 4th, the Kendra houses, major pillars of life goes for a change. That is very important for Libra. I feel they had been quite a stagnant position, as Saturn is hovering in the 6th house. Now it is in the trines with Jupiter, which is your 3rd lord and your 6th lord. Obviously, Jupiter is not a great planet for you. It is a Trishadaya lord. But that kind of though Jupiter gets originally debilitated in the 10th house of Capricorn, but it will give you the knowledge and make you do the thing. Yes, you can feel a little out of place for some time, but understand whatever is happening in the 10th house area is needed, and there is a churn up. At least till the next 6 months, I do not see if there are changes also, it is good only, and it is giving you more confidence. You're understanding the politics of the game better. So that is important for Libra ascendants here. Take care. Scorpio ascendants, the transit of Jupiter is in your 9th and the 10th house, in Ashlesha and then in Magha. Then I think this is the transit, because Mars will also transit this same way, Ashlesha and Magha. Jupiter and Mars being very important planets for you, the Kendra and Trikon Lord is creating a kind of a churn in the 9th and 10th house area. Now see, 9th house area is about your learning, your gurus, your father, your skills, and whatever, your bhagya, how to improve your fortune. And now these two planets goes into the 10th house and back and forth. There are 2 times they're moving from this Gandanta, the knot that we call the karmic knot. There will be important chapters that will be closing. Now at this point of time, whatever you are feeling, Scorpio ascendants, but towards the end of the year, especially from September onwards, or October, November, December, January, February till June will be very karmic uploads, which is good. these denotes that you will close those chapters which are not needed, and there will be good changes in your 10th house area. You will feel very busy. Maybe you have to shut down certain things that you had been going on for long, and now the demand is for new calling. That is also very important, because Scorpio ascendants had been going through a very rough time with Ketu in the 10th house, and that is very normal, because Ketu is here to cut. And because see, Ketu is not I mean, yes, it is the south node, and it shows karmic releases, but those releases are not easy. There had been job changes, there had been politically different kind of things, there can be politics, there can be all these things happening in the 10th house for the Scorpio people. The bosses can be rough and all this. So here it is your Bhagya Dasha that is getting a churn, and with the 10th house. And ultimately the motto of Jupiter Mars is to go to your 10th house at an individual level and establish you over there. So very, very important transit. Out of all so many ascendants, Libra, Scorpio are going through a very big transit in the 9th, 10th and 10th, 11th house, like that. Because see, Jupiter and Mars will have a conjunction in this Ashlesha Nakshatra, and then they move throwing towards the Gandanta of this, and then coming to Magha. Now you must know because as I said, Ashlesha is a coiled kind of a snake nakshatra, which is like now you have the knowledge how to deal with it. In Pushya you were trying to get the knowledge. Here you know how to deal with it. Be very aware of people around you. It will not be easy. It cannot be easy. See, 10th house transit, 10th house planets cannot be easy. 10th house is the original Karpurush house in the Kundali. One has to understand that 10th house planets, if you have a planet in the 10th house, that house will behave like Capricorn, and understand the planet is in Capricorn. That is a good way of understanding that. And so now you know any planet going into Capricorn or the 10th house will demand a war zone. It demands a lot from you. Whether you're willing to give it or not, that is not the criteria of Mars, because Mars and Jupiter both will be, though this is the transit of Jupiter which I'm talking, but at the same time your Lagna Lord Mars is also crossing this Gandanta. So that is why, see, both the Mars ascendants, Aries and Scorpio, very different transit. For Aries, it is 4th and 5th house. Mars is not Digbala over here. The capacity of Mars to give in the 4th and 5th house is less. But in the 9th and 10th house and 11th house, Mars is very comfortable in the 10th house with Digbala. It gets exalted in Capricorn, right? So here you have to wage a war. Take it in this way. You are waiting for a war to unleash. Now the war can be internal. It is nothing like you're fighting with a sword, but every day there will be some challenges which is knocking up at your door. That is the 10th house. How can you just, you cannot reverse the process. That is the 10th house. It will make you so capable after this transit of Jupiter, giving you the knowledge how to deal with people, how to deal with bosses. You have the knowledge, you don't show it to the people. And then Jupiter ultimately goes into Leo. 22nd June 2027. Mars ultimately, after completing back and forth, comes into Leo in April 2027. May, June, it will be in Leo. So you see, this is the ultimate thing that you're waiting for. But a glimpse of certain big changes will come up in the month of November, when Jupiter, Ketu, Mars will have a conjunction in Magha. It is without Ketu. Ketu will be for 1 month in November. December, January also, Mars and Jupiter will be in the 10th house. It is a Raj Yoga in transit when the Kendra Trikon Lord comes to the 10th house. So, I mean, see, this is a life-changing transit, and it has to do with competition. It has to do with churning of your internal senses. It has to do that you will have a epiphanian awakening that yes, that every individual will go through, because Ashlesha Magha is the first Gandanta where the spiritual awakening happens. Okay, that is like you are just on the brink of it, and there will be Kundalini awakening, some kind of, whatever small, because there will be so many incidents outside, not at an individual level, at a mundane level also. There will be so many incidents happening in this 1 year time that you will be forced to understand how to now mitigate your life. Till now, nobody knows the flavor of it, because Jupiter is in Pushya. Pushya is not that kind of Krur nakshatra, or the cutting Tikshana nakshatra like Magha and Ashlesha is a highly, Ashlesha people, they are not born like that. That is why if you see an Ashlesha people, you will see they have a lot of layers in them that happened because they encountered people and situation like that. Nobody is born like that. So that is why you have to be very cautious. You have to understand what you're dealing with. It is a highly competitive situation that you're going to. You cannot give up on competition, and your Lagna Lord will not let you. When Mars comes into the 10th house especially. Yes, in 9th house it is debilitated, but with Jupiter there will be a Nij Bhanga also. All in all, Scorpio, I feel it is a very important and needed transit for you. Another thing is that again and again I will tell my people, those who are watching my video, do not expect in the coming years to have a great situation. That is not going to happen. That is very, very important to understand. Till 2032, there is at least 31. The kind of combinations that is happening, you cannot see an easy year. Every year will be tougher than the other. Next year Saturn goes into debilitation also. So you have to understand there will be shifts and turns and twists all the time. That is why Gandanta Nakshatra are so difficult to deal with, which is like starting from 29 degree of a sign to 0 degree or 1 minute of a sign. You can take that as the Gandanta. 29 degree Ashlesha to 1 degree Magha. Any kind of transits over here, which is happening now, and that is also happening for a very long time, nearly 1 year transit. And also, if you have planets over there, then 101% there will be big journeys in your life, big shifts and all. And if you ask me what is the final result is good only, but you have to go through this. But it's not an easy task to go through this itself. It requires a lot of patience, lot of understanding, contemplation, waiting, and also politically you have to be very correct. Here you cannot be vulnerable. So Scorpio people, that sums up the transit. I hope I'll keep posting on this kind of a transit, which is very, very essential in the next 1.5 years. So it is only the Cancer Leo, you can understand the two illuminaries are totally illuminated by Jupiter and Mars and Ketu. So have a good time, Scorpio. Yeah. Sagittarius ascendant. Sagittarius, this is the transit of Ashlesha Magha in your 8th house and the 9th house. Yes, again for you, like the Scorpio and Libra, sudden changes will come up to you and you have to deal with the changes. Now you ask me whether changes are good or not. Yes, ultimately it is good, because Jupiter, your Lagna Lord, though exalted, but after all it is in the 8th house. Certain plans has to change for you. You'll understand that slowly. And now then ultimately next year Jupiter will go into Leo, and then Virgo, and then Libra. So 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and Lagna Jupiter by 2032 is a very good transit. But here first you have to cross this Gandanta, which is very important. So before going to Magha, this Jupiter in Ashlesha with Mars, also your 5th Lord, in the month of September, October full, will be in your 8th house. Jupiter, Mars in Gandanta in Ashlesha. So these kind of transits, when they happen, do not just look for that Mars is your 5th Lord, 12th Lord, Jupiter, Lagna Lord, and your 4th Lord. Yes, these places can definitely go for a churn up. That is you your birthplace, your native place, your real estates, where you're staying, your progeny, your love affairs, even maybe your marriage, all these things are tested in the sense this knot has to be crossed. One has to understand that these are highly karmic knots. High first, the kundalini awakening first starts from Ashlesha out of the 27 nakshatra, then it goes to Magha. These are like the Mercury and Ketu nakshatras, then Jyeshtha Mula, very difficult Gandanta from where COVID started, and then comes Revati Ashwini, a little bit benign than these two. These two are much more fierce in their way of handling things. So here, as you are reaching this, as everybody is reaching this Gandanta, next 1.5 years, there will be a lot of churning of incidents. So in every video, I will keep reminding of the fact we are not in great times. If you're staying in India, if you're staying outside India, doesn't matter. Rather, the West is not even more in good times. India will see a much better time than the West, how much we shout on whatever is happening. So whoever is staying outside also, because many Sagittarius people have Saturn in the 4th house and they may aspire to go outside, they may get a visa and whatnot. That is okay, that is your karma, you have to go. If you have that kind of a thing, that those kind of things will happen in this kind of a transit, because here the 4th lord is in Gandanta. There is some kind of a change that is happening for you and your place of stay. So this will happen and you have to go. What is the main point of the story is that this journey will have a lot of sudden incidents creeping up for you and you have to deal with those incidents. That is the problem with Gandanta transits. And in August month, there is 2 eclipse also, which will have repercussions. Next video, most probably I'll be doing on the eclipses of August. So that's why one has to understand these are not easy times when 2 important major planets of yours, Jupiter and Mars, is crossing the Gandanta back and forth, once in November, again in the month of January. Okay, so there will be incidents that comes as a googly, like a cricket ball, and you have to play it safely, and you cannot get irritated and impatient. It is not possible. We are not living in the times where you demand you cannot demand goodness at this point of time. 2 war fronts are open, another will also open. So 3 war fronts will be normal until 2032, when the world regime goes for a change, till 2036 in Pushya. So all these things, knowingly, one have to be very skeptical, judgmental, understanding, materialistic, and in an awakened state of existence. And for you, Sagittarius, all these criteria falls, all this. You have to understand what you are undertaken, how you are dealing with the things. You cannot jump into things. It's not possible. Take time, understand, and then go for a change if required. Sudden incidents will creep up in your life, especially if you are running not a good dasha. The changes or the challenges will be more. Now, somebody will write, Sagittarius is a very bad moon sign, very bad lagna. I don't understand why these kind of comments come. I mean, you are designated a certain lagna or moon because you had that karma in your past life. You have whatever ascendant moon you have come with, that is the prarabdha, right? Blame, we have to only blame ourselves. Nobody else we can blame. In the Hindu mythology, we know that this is different life stages that we are crossing. The prarabdha has given you this kind of a Sagittarius moon or lagna, whatever. If you feel frustrated with that, what's the use? You have to neutralize your karma. My story about Sagittarius is that it is it is very not very easy thing in the 8th house when your lagna lord is crossing the Gandanta. That is the first point. You have to deal with it, and whatever incidents happen to you after the eclipse or whatever, because you have a 8th house eclipse coming out, there will be clearing of incidents also if the 8th house dasha or 8th house lord is well placed, and you may have your impediments gone. So don't take it all negatively. That is the first thing. Now, the agenda of Jupiter in this Magha and Ashlesha Magha Gandanta is to reach to the 9th house. 9th house, Jupiter in Leo, is all about higher dharma, higher learning, higher ambitions, everything. So to reach there, these things has to be done. 1 year, you have to be patiently. In between, you will have bouts of better times. I'm not telling everything will be bad only. Like Venus, I'll do the transit of Venus in Virgo and Libra. So it is your 10th and 11th house. You can have gains, you can whatever it is. But it is a major change brewing up, and that change will be completed in the next 1 year, while Jupiter finally crosses into Leo on 22nd June 2027. So this is the thing one has to realize. Yes, there are changes. There will be certain incidents. Maybe your professional incident, maybe change of place incident, maybe regarding your progeny, because Mars is going through a very big change again in the same Gandanta of Ashlesha Magha. Long time. Mars, your 5th lord, will go through a very big change. So your progeny, your native place where you stay, selling of a house, buying of a house, going to one place, shifting your higher dharma, because Jupiter is pushing you now, it will, towards Leo. And Leo is ambitious. 9th house Leo sign, when Jupiter enters, it is your ambition that will be, but before you go to that thing, you have to go through this 8th house churning, understanding, awakening, taking situations and solving it. So very important, Sagittarius ascendants, be prepared for a year of different kind of events. That is the motto of this video. Some events will be good, but most of the events can be a little bit asking for your, guts, your purusharth, the 3rd house. Rahu will provide that over there. Then Rahu will go to the 2nd house and Ketu comes to the 8th house. Obviously, you can understand, if you're watching astrology videos, the 2nd and the 8th axis of Rahu Ketu, whenever it happens, there are big churnings in the life. And also Lagna 7th house also. I'll not deny that. So yes, take good care, Sagittarius people. Capricorn ascendants, Capricorn, this transit of Ashlesha and Magha Gandanta of Jupiter is happening in your 7th and 8th house. Now see, Jupiter is not a great planet for you, being the 3rd and the 12th lord. Now when Jupiter comes into this Magha and Ashlesha Gandanta, 101% there will be relationships, there will be tested. You will try to find out what is happening and what needs to be done. And also because Jupiter, Mars and all these things will be in the November month, Jupiter, Mars and Ketu will be in the 8th house. There will be sudden forceful epiphany that will happen in your life, and you have to address those. This is the first thing. Yes, if you ask me, it is a challenging. Yeah, it is challenging, because the eclipse also coming up in August will happen in Cancer, in Ashlesha, nearly Pusha Ashlesha, that area. So these kind of eclipses, as Rahu Ketu is not now preparing the end 4 months to come on the Lagna on Capricorn and Cancer, you can understand whenever Rahu Ketu transits are in the 2nd 8th, 1st 7th and 10th 4th, these axes are very, very churning. And they bring major life incidents, and obviously Capricorn is not an easy sign. Your Lagna Lord next year will go into debilitation, and from here you have to close certain chapters, which is also the 8th house. It will bring those incidents to you and you have to close it. Now merrily you close it. If you're looking for a closure, well and good. That adds to your completion of task. If you're looking for a closure of anything, it can be anything, because your 10th lord and your 5th lord Yogakarak Venus will also come into debilitation in the 10th house for a long time. So all the planets are telling that there is major changes that you're looking towards, and that is for all the ascendants. It is like that. Now these are not times where we can assert our free will. One has to understand that whatever incidents come up for you, whether it is like for Capricorn ascendant, see, the changes will always happen from Rahu Ketu axis, which is now your 2nd and the 8th house. Now Jupiter is going and joining Ketu for a moment over there in the month of November. There will be Jupiter Ketu Mars conjunction in Magha, which is a very fierce nakshatra in your 8th house. Certain incidents will come. It will be thrown at you to solve those. Then Jupiter and Mars remains over there for whole of December and nearly till 23rd, 24th of January. The Sankranti time, till Sankranti time of Sun and Capricorn. So here, because Sun will reach the Lagna and Jupiter and Mars will be in Sun's house, you can understand, though Sun do not get the dosh of 8th Lord, but whenever these things happen together, there will be certain incidents in your life, and then Jupiter and Mars comes backwards into Ashlesha where Ketu will be now. So these are knots, and it will change your life because the incident is not happening for a one-timer. It is taking some time, and Jupiter will start in Ashlesha from 18th of August and will end the Magha transit by July 2027. So there's a long time Jupiter will be in Ashlesha Magha. Similar for Mars also. It will start in Cancer in this September and it will end the transit in Leo next year, June. So you can understand these two planets, Jupiter will give you the knowledge you have to, and Mars will give you the impetus to fight. And you have to close these chapters. Then only you can move ahead, because these karmic knots are high knots. That's why in the preface of the video I have told what all incidents had happened when last Jupiter Ketu came together in 1990-91. You can go and reflect on that. Huge changes. So not only your internal changes, not only epiphany, awakening, understanding, sudden realization what to let go, what to hold. These all things will happen for you, Capricorn, whatever dasha you are running, because now the Lagna Lord is coming into next year debilitation. This last 1 year, lot of changes is there in your kitty. You have to go through changes because you have to finish those chapters. Now Saturn will come into debilitation. Another 30-year cycle returns, and it starts, another completes. So a lot of, and Saturn, that's the reason Saturn is in Revati in Trikon to Jupiter. Saturn is also, in some way aiding these incidents that Jupiter is carrying out in Ashlesha Magha, your 12th Lord. It will end up things. It has to. In 8th house, you have to let go certain things. You cannot, because Jupiter is an effort Lord and Saturn is sitting in the 3rd house, the efforts will be to let go, not hold on. That one has to understand. Because then when Rahu comes on the Lagna, Saturn goes into debilitation. Saturn will have an aspect on this Rahu on Capricorn. So for you, it is a Lagna. A lot of things coming up for the next year. Again, don't ask good or bad. That depends on the dasha you are. But obviously, Capricorn being the Lagna, or if you're a moon sign Capricorn, it's not an easy sign. It is not at all an easy sign, and you have to you get a Capricorn Lagna or moon if there is lot of karmic baggages, and you can hate me for saying that, but that is how it is. I cannot shy away from the truth. So yeah, that's the thing. Yes, I really understand that there is you feel a little heavy also in these kind of transits. You will understand that there is not much free will in these kind of transits when this 8th house is activated so much, and the juncture of the 7th and 8th. See, even it is your partnership also. If you're looking for an exit, it can very well happen at this point of time, in this next 6 months or whatever. And also it is your in-laws house also. It is your money in the 8th house. Be very, very cautious with the monetary things, because it should not be sudden, because that's how it happens. Sudden Ketu creates sudden incidents. You give up money or you trade something, do something, gone. These are not times to be casual at all. At all. We are not in those times. That's the thing. See, you in Punarvasu, Jupiter has been changing so many things. Now Jupiter is in Pushya. Saturn comes to Pushya, your Lagna Lord, in 2036. By that time, 10 years hence, the world will see there will be so much changes. It is very difficult in this next 10 years to look back and understand. I mean, these kind of things will happen all over the world. Yeah. So, not an easy transit for you. I cannot say it is easy. If I say that, it'll be I cannot do these things. So that's why it is more important. If the transit is not easy, then you have to be more understanding what you should do, and you should be very skeptical in your decisions and think over it, mull over it again and again, and then come to a conclusion. Take care, Capricorn people. For Aquarius ascendant, the Jupiter is crossing the Ashlesha in your 6th house to the 7th house in Magha. So for Aquarius people, this is a big time when Saturn is in Trikon to Jupiter in the 2nd house. It is much of a Artha Trikon issues that you will be dealing with. It can be overall anything, but it mainly shows your monetary solvencies, because Jupiter is the 2nd and the 11th lord, and this will take nearly 1 year for you, or rather the coming 6 months, to understand where you stand and what are the steps that needs to be taken. Jupiter will make you go through this, because see, there will be because Lagna Lord is in the 2nd house in Revati, there will be endings about certain chapter that has been going on for 30 years. The endings, we do not want to make the endings unless and until we are pushed for, and that is why Jupiter is here to end some karmic knots in Ashlesha and Magha. Ashlesha Magha Gandanta is not an easy Gandanta, and every individual in whatever form will go through certain hardships definitely in this point of time when such a big transit of Jupiter and Mars, that is your 10th and 11th lord, is happening over here. About Mars I'll talk later, but as of now you understand the 10th and 11th house and the 3rd and 2nd house, the efforts, the networking circle, the 10th house matters, all these things, and also your family, understanding your hoardings, your wealth, and all these will go through certain kind of karmic chapter closing and certain other things starting. So here the free will is very less in Ashlesha Magha. So here you will have to go according to whatever things are thrown at you, because these karmic knots are very essential to be neutralized. If you go to the preface of my video, you will see the incidents that had happened when Jupiter Ketu had been in Ashlesha Pushya last year, time 1990-91. Series of incidents had happened, and this will start for this transit also from September onwards, when Mars goes into debilitation and Jupiter will be in Ashlesha, and Ketu and Rahu will be now eagering to going up to the next transit of Capricorn Cancer. Lot of events will be triggered from September onwards, and it will carry on till next year, August, September. So here it is a big major transit that is happening, and it will change the face of your 10th house and 11th house mainly. Yes, you will, because it is a competition house, you will understand the competition, you will have the knowledge, you will have the politically correct decisions to do what you have to do, because Ashlesha is no sudden, in this nakshatra there is no, it is all hidden, the motives are hidden. So whatever people are surrounding you, you have to understand them also. You have the knowledge and you do not show it on the face. Now you know how to deal with the war that is coming ahead. So that kind of a situation for most of the ascendants, and all I can say, it's not an easy transit. It cannot be. Gandanta transits cannot be easy. And in the next coming years, till 2032, minimum, till 2036 also we can tell, as Saturn runs into Pushya, there will be very many changes happening in the next 6 to 10 years. and this is a long projected thing, and that is why every transit will be different from henceforth. You can see two planets hovering around in Ashlesha Magha for so long, Jupiter and Mars both. And here Ketu will also join with Jupiter and Ashlesha January onwards. So for you 101% Aquarius, it is all the work related thing. If you totally want to quit and change, there is certain thing. Your health becomes very, very important. Maybe it goes for a change. Maybe your food goes for a change. Saturn in Trikon to Jupiter and Ketu from January onwards. Maybe the way you used to deal with people, your co-workers, go for a change. You understand now. Sudden realizations, epiphany will definitely have in this kind of transit, because the Kundalini awakening exactly starts from Ashlesha. That's the first nakshatra, and then it carries on more fierce in Mula, and then Revati is the final encounter. I mean Revati Ashwini. So whatever, this is the first nakshatra, Ashlesha, where sudden realizations, and there will be certain mass awakenings around all over the world, and at an individual level we will feel a shift that is happening, and that shift is very important. All that is have been past life karmic knots, that is embedded in these nakshatras of Gandhamul nakshatra. It is the knot has to be churned and opened, and those karmas had to be dealt with. Then only we can go to the next chapter. For you especially, Saturn gets debilitated next year from June 2nd, 3rd. Now the debilitation of Saturn starts and then Jupiter in same June month will go to Leo finally. So you see Jupiter Saturn, the Lagna Lord, is aiding, because it is in Trikon. Saturn is in Pisces and Jupiter is in Cancer, aspecting the Pisces 1/5 axis, 159 axis, Trikon. Then Saturn moves into debilitation, Jupiter moves into Leo next year, June. That is also Trikon axis. So Saturn is aiding these changes. Your Lagna Lord is in the process, though it is not exactly visible, but Saturn will also move into Revati and Ashwini Gandanta next year. So many chapters has to be buried so that new chapters can come and we move forward. Those who has to go from your life, maybe the workplace, maybe the work scenario, the kind of work you do, the people that you encounter, you know now how to deal with it with Jupiter and Ashlesha. It's not an easy transit. Jupiter is benevolent, but Ashlesha nakshatra is like the Chanakya Niti. You know, Jupiter behaves something like that over there. You have to have an idea where the things are going, and you do not show it to the world. So that is the whole thing. On and off things will happen. There are certain good things also when Venus comes into Libra and all this. So every transit will give some or the other things, but overall it is a very life-changing transits that we are all heading towards. So take care, Aquarius. Pisces ascendant, the transit of Jupiter, your Lagna Lord, into the Ashlesha and Magha Nakshatra, which is your 5th and 6th house, will bring up incidents first regarding you, your name, fame, your change, because it is a 10th Lord also in Gandanta, change of job, change of understanding what you do, change of a lifestyle, change of progeny, all these things. So this is a very important and profound transit for you. Saturn being on the Lagna, many chapters which had been carrying on for so long, dragging on, will change. The change may not be very easy, but believe me, it will be beneficial for you, because that is what Saturn is doing. And now your Lagna Lord will join the process in the Gandanta of Ashlesha and Magha. And because Saturn will move from your Lagna next year, June, to the 2nd house. That is also passing through Revati and Ashwini Gandanta. So both the planets in Trikons are aiding this process of change. For Pisces, it's a big change. and it can involve your progeny also, because of your progeny, because it is a 5th house Jupiter. And Mars, the 9th lord, will also join this Gandanta transit from September onwards. So roughly you can take Pisces ascendant that Mars and Jupiter will be in Cancer, and this change Jupiter will start brewing up. You will understand, you will see the change. Don't be in a rush. These kind of changes are not free-willed at all. One has to first understand that. This is totally divine destiny. You don't have a free will in that. Whenever there is these kind of Gandanta nakshatras playing there, such a big transit and in such a profound way, Jupiter starts into Ashlesha from this 18th of August and ends into Magha next year, June, July. So you can understand it is a 1 year of transit in Ashlesha Magha for Jupiter. And also in the month of January onwards, it will have a conjunction with Ketu in Ashlesha for 5 months. So there is, like, you cannot push it to your mood, your whims and fancies. You cannot do that. If you ask me how the changes will be, for you it will be good. You need those changes and it will be good changes. But the process is not easy. Because it is a Gandanta nakshatra, there will be sudden things thrown at you, sudden changes that you have to adapt to, and that is why the process cannot be very easy, because these two nakshatras are not easy nakshatra. Whether I say or not, if I can say very sweetly, it will be very good transit and very nice and everything is nice. It will not happen like that. Yeah, that is how, because see, I myself is a Magha person. I do not sugarcoat things. I don't like doing that. Take up the challenge, face the challenge in life. Whatever you have to do, it needs to be done. If a challenge is a googly ball thrown in the cricket, you have to put your bat into a certain way so that you don't get out, right? So it is a good transit in a way that it will bring out the long pending karmas for every ascendant, and for you it is obviously concerning yourself and the 10th house. Maybe that is the chapter you need to address now. And because this transit is happening mainly in the 5th and the 6th house, 5th house is about progeny, love affairs and all these things, your higher education, your certificate, all these will go for a change now. And 6th house is obviously when Jupiter finally transits into 6th house and Saturn into the 2nd house. It is a different chapter altogether. From June 2027, Saturn goes into debilitation, which is good for you, not bad. The 11th lord coming into the 2nd house in debilitation, also Saturn will provide you the financial flow, and Jupiter will be in Leo. So Artha Trikon. So the transit process can be a little difficult. It can be. But if you know how to go with the flow and do not put your exert your free will upon it, you will pass through this, because the mundane level also will change. That is why I have started making certain small videos of mundane astrology from 2026 to 2036. Big changes, very big changes, even that which is very difficult to understand at this point of time. That is the change that we are looking towards. That is why Jupiter is in Pushya now. 2036 Saturn will be in Pushya. It's a very big change. Whenever Saturn reaches Pushya, which it is the best, one of the best nakshatras, due to Bhagavan Sri Krishna also said nakshatra mein I am Pushya. So it is a highest order nakshatra, and when Saturn comes, it is a world order change. Different lot of things changes around you and a new thing comes up. So that is a long drawn story, but no year is very easy henceforth. That has to go into the understanding, and there will be lot of realization, epiphany, understanding for every individual depending on the dasha. But whatever happens, the big changes that are brewing up for you will ultimately give give you better results only, Pisces ascendant. So go through the change, do not be in a haste, and let the changes happen, and whatever is coming to you, you do that karma, neutralize it, because understand it is a Gandanta nakshatra, very, very difficult, and it's not easy to pass through Ashlesha Magha. It is a kind of a war within. Address it, move on with it, changes will definitely happen in the future. So take care, Pisces ascendant. This was my take on Jupiter's transit in Ashlesha and Magha. Let's see what comes up next. Thank you. Take care.